There are a lot of racetracks in North America, and while many of them claim to be the biggest, the fastest, the most historic, or the most important, there are a few that measure up to the historic Watkins Glen International at the southern tip of Seneca Lake in the Finger Lakes region of upstate New York. Once a street course that held the first race post-World War II, Watkins Glen has transformed into a world-class racing facility that has held every type of racing. NASCAR, Formula One, Grand Am, IndyCar, the IMSA Sports Car Championship, the SCCA, Pirelli World Challenge, and many more. Tonight marks the beginning of a 5-race championship for the newly renamed #GRIDLIFE iRacers Racing League, and Watkins Glen will play host to over 5 dozen buzzing Mazda MX-5 Miatas as their drivers go for victory in what is sure to be a captivating season. Names like DJ Alessandrini, Tom O'Gorman, and Kenton Cook adorn the star-studded field. The drivers tonight are participants in GRIDLIFE's Touring Cup, and they've shown so far that skill on the sim translates to the racetrack and vice versa. I'm Kyle Heyer, joined tonight by Promo Ravi and Church Brooks. And they're both filling in for Finian DeCuna as he takes over the Fuel Host Venom Cup series for the next couple weeks, and that stream will be going live in about 15 minutes right here on Sim TV. All right, guys, we're ready to go racing at Watkins Glen International, a 3.4-mile course in upstate New York, and this place is extremely fast. And Promo, these little Mazdas, they carry a lot of speed around here.
Absolutely, Kyle. And these drivers drive it to the absolute limit as well.
Absolutely, and obviously this racetrack tonight, 3.4 miles. It is not a small racetrack by any stretch of the imagination. It has a lot of straightaways here that a lot of drivers use to draft quite effectively in these little cars. Not a lot of aero on these things, but because they are so light, they are very sensitive to those changes, and obviously that's going to be an important note heading into twin 15-minute races here tonight. And Promo, obviously, qualifying position extremely important tonight. 62 cars entered in this session and only 15 minutes to work your way forward. Is the key just to kind of keep yourself out of trouble or be super, super aggressive and charge the front as fast as you can?
I guess it depends on what type of driver you are, depending on where you are within the pack. I know that the top pack of the drivers, such as, Kenton, John, Eric, Tom, they're always pushing as hard as they can. And then towards the mid-pack, you've got drivers who are basically just trying not to, wreck their cars. So you've got different varying levels of talent depending on the field. So this is going to make for very, very good racing tonight.
And speaking of talent, one guy we're watching right now, Tom O'Gorman in the number 94 MX-5. This is a guy that's got real-world racing experience in the IMSA Sports Car not the IMSA Sports Car Championship, more the Michelin Pilot Challenge, and actually won his category a couple of weeks ago at Daytona in the TCR class. So obviously Tom comes from a very skilled background and was a winner at Daytona a few weeks ago, but now we head to Watkins Glen in a car that's got a little bit less horsepower than the Honda Civic he's used to piloting. So we've seen in the past his skill level in the Porsches has yet to run really well. Actually, I don't even think he was at Lime Rock Park last week in the exhibition race. So what are your expectations for O'Gorman here tonight?
Tom is always, very, very within the top 5, so I have high expectations for him.
Other drivers I recognize here, Christopher Hand in the number 16 MX-5, got iRacing adorned on the hood, and this is a gentleman that I've raced side-by-side, door-to-door with in the iRacing Motorsport Simulation Service, and he's here right now qualified in 4th place. You can see the qualifying intervals on the far left-hand side of your screen, and also there on the top of the board right now is Kenton Cook in the number 55 MX-5, and Cook, another driver in the Michelin Pilot Challenge, and I think that's kind of the theme we're seeing here as the cream is rising to the top here early in qualifying.
Absolutely, and we've also got Justin Hilly sitting in 2nd place right now with a 209.225, or 255, excuse me. And Justin Hilly won the SCCA National Spec Miata Championship, so he's a very good driver as well.
Yeah, so he's going to fit right in here tonight. And again, Watkins Glen, 11 corners and lots of elevation change, and that includes an 110-foot climb up through turns 2, 3, and 4, known as the S's here. And the track is at its widest 60 feet, at its narrowest 34 feet. And obviously, these race cars, this is almost like a NASCAR-style draft pack down the back straightaway here. So the key on the first couple laps, Promo, is it really go on the attack down into the bus stop and try to jump those curbs and get as many positions as you can, or are you going to try to find a drafting partner and hang out with them for a little while?
I would try and keep it easy through the bus stop due to the fact that every single driver so far has been complaining about how loose the cars get through the bus stop. So maybe hang back just a little bit, wait to see how things go, because you might end up having a free and clear pass from someone spinning out.
And riding on board Justin Hilly's MX-5 as he climbs the S's here. And again, this is, most of the hill here is in 4th up to 5th gear, and not a whole lot of torque in these MX-5s. So we talk about racetracks being momentum racetracks, Promo, but obviously this is probably one of the most important momentum racetracks in North America. And down the back straightaway now, 120 miles an hour, almost 118 for Justin Hilly. Then into the bus stop, up and over those curbs, and that's going to be an important aspect to tonight's racing. You got to abuse those track limits just enough to find speed in those apexes, but you don't want to get too many, as there's a 12x incident limit, and drivers will have to be thinking about that in the back of their mind tonight.
Absolutely.
Now we head down into the boot section here, turn number 6. This is a very misleading corner. The racetrack kind of drops away from you here and can kind of throw the car off balance. So a lot of drivers will enter all the way to the right as they're learning this racetrack, but it actually turns out that the best way to enter that corner is kind of the center of the racetrack, and it's a little bit strange because that's not typically the way you want to track into a corner, but Watkins Glen is unique in that aspect, and Hilly's going to pull off, and that'll be it for that qualifying attempt. P3 on the grid, and up to P number 2 is John D. Allen in the 22 car, and obviously he's got a ton of experience as well.
What's absolutely surprising to me is that they're able to carry a minimum speed of 88 miles per hour through the bus stop. And to think of what those corners look like and to carry that amount of speed is just mind-blowing to me.
And I think one of the things that helps this little MX-5 whip around there is that it's so nimble. It's very lightweight, under 2,000 pounds without the driver, and obviously that creates a very nimble race car, and a lot of cars that typically race at Watkins Glen are much heavier stock car style vehicles, and they're straight lining the corners more, but you're going to see a lot of sliding around here tonight. But let's take a look at our track temps as well. The conditions tonight, 92 degrees on the track temp. Not necessarily burning hot, but it's certainly hot enough to be a little bit slick out there. So about 6 minutes remaining in qualifying. Kenton Cook still on top of the board. We're watching John D. Allen try to top Kenton Cook's 208.836. And Eric Coutil in the 82 is miraculously managed to show up just in time to race after having some internet troubles earlier tonight. And reigning champion in what was the Track Midwest Porsche Cup Series is position number 6 on the grid right now, and that number 1 MX-5, and he's a guy I expect to be very, very competitive, but I think he's going to have a little bit more competition this time around in the hashtag GRIDLIFE iRacer series. All right, rolling through turn number 10 and into turn number 11, a quick left-right switchback that leads onto the front straight. Good passing opportunity here as drivers swing back to the left. Gives you an opportunity to shove the nose up the inside, but got to be careful. There's pretty tall curbs on the right in turn number 11 that can catch you off guard. Now back onto the front straight. 5 minutes remaining. Will DJ improve this time? And his last time is going to be a actually has an off track there, so won't count. But his best time is a 209.404, which is about a half a second off of Kenton Cook's best time, which is a 208.836.
And Kyle, we have roughly 20 drivers who have qualified within the 210.0 to 210.9 range. So this will make some incredible mid-pack racing.
And also the draft, which is not a factor right now in the single car qualifying, but the draft promo, when we get into the race here, any gap that these guys have, I think from first to last right now, the gap from first to 61st is 4.3 seconds. And the draft around here is easily worth 2 if you're using it right. So that's going to probably bring in,
absolutely,
right now, first to 44th is 2.4 seconds. That's how close this is around here. That's absolutely phenomenal. And that's going to bring the whole field in together. And I think the key is going to be staying in the lead pack here, because it's going to break up. There's going to be some incidents here and there, and the key is really to keep yourself towards that front pack so you can advance and head into race number 2 with a 10-car field inversion. So 10th place in race 1 will be the pole sitter for race number 2.
This will be an exciting race, that's for sure.
Absolutely, and one other thing I want to take a look at real quick is the conditions once more, and they haven't really changed here, but no wind. And again, these cars so light, under 2,000 pounds without the driver, so the wind can kind of blow these things around a little bit, give them a tailwind, and that sometimes factors into the battles, but only 1 mile an hour out of the north tonight, which is going to be a headwind on the front straightaway. So it really shouldn't affect the racing too much. But again, that track temp is what we're keeping an eye on. We saw very, very hot track temps a couple nights ago in another league that we were running. So obviously the track temp's going to be something to keep an eye on. But 3 minutes left in qualifying now, and Kenton Cook still sitting on top of the board. Do we think anyone out there can dethrone that 55 car?
I think John D. Allen as well as Justin Hilly both have a solid chance depending on their consistency, but knowing Kenton, him making a mistake is not likely, so it'll be difficult for them, that's for sure.
Alex Barroso in the 54 car out on the racetrack right now just ran a 209.7, which is good enough for 11th. And it's going to go for another lap. You see him run a little bit wide in turn 1, and promo, that's going to be something to keep an eye on all night. Is down in turn number 1. That runoff area is fair game. That's racing surface, and you're going to see a lot of drivers using that to carry momentum through turns 1 and 2. And then he climbs the S's up to a 110-foot elevation down on the back straightaway. That Ben & Jerry's sponsored MX-5. And we're right on board through the bus stop. This is such a fun section. Tall curbs. You're whipping the car from the right to left, back to the right. It's a very dynamic section for the suspension, and obviously drivers that were working on their setups tonight will have to keep that in mind, and if you run a little bit too stiff, it might be bouncy through there. So drivers had to set their setups up just enough to take the curbs and also get a good mix of handling there as well. So Barroso works his way down into the boot now. And Kenton Cook still has the pole time by about 1/10 of a second. You see Barroso run a little bit wide on the exit of turn number 6, and that'll probably collect him an off track and invalidate this lap, but he probably won't have enough time to get another lap in. And there's only a few other cars on the racetrack. Dan Capaldo in the 567. He's way out in the runoff in turn number 1 right now. Ryan Christoph, Zachary Lee, and Charles Boley are all out on the racetrack, and that's about it, though, other than Alex Barroso. So it looks like we've had 60, actually every single car in the session has qualified, and I think that's almost a desperation move, promo. You're going to want to be qualified, or at least attempt to qualify well. If you're starting 62nd, the chance of you getting inside the top 10 is really, really, really slim.
Absolutely, and I couldn't imagine how much of a cluster the race is about to start out as. But however, during Lime Rock, these drivers kept it so incredibly clean that we were all shocked. Through turn 1, there wasn't a single incident. So let's see if they can pull the same thing off at Watkins Glen.
And Watkins Glen is known for having a very tempting turn number 1. It's got a couple degrees of banking. It's a 90-degree right-hander with plenty of runoff. So it's very tempting as a driver to just go sailing up the inside and catch people that are being careful. But I think there's a lot of risk for not a whole lot of reward there. So we'll see drivers probably practice some patience, at least on the first lap. I think down at the bus stop will be a fun spot to watch, though, as drivers are jockeying for position on the back straight. So Capaldo,
we've also got a lot of drivers here trying to beat themselves up over their current quality times. However, we have to tell them that the field that they're racing with, the level of drivers that they're racing with is, I'm not sure if there's another match for us. But they're doing an amazing job. And with the changing track conditions and all that, they've really been killing it.
Absolutely, and with that, we are ready to grid to go racing for 15 minutes here at Watkins Glen International, and on the pole, the number 55 of Kenton Cook. No surprises there, and qualifying relatively expected in terms of the order that we saw, but now we grid up 62 Mazda MX-5s, and this is going to be a great start to watch. And, of course, standing start here tonight, and that's going to be entertaining all the way down to turn number 1. And once they get there, it's all about getting up through the gears on that front straightaway here, promo, and not missing a shift. This car does require clutch on the upshift. You can skip the clutch on the downshift if you're clever with the throttle application, but I think most drivers will be going for that heel toe, and that's really where the skill factors in here. And just waiting for these drivers to get ready and grid up to go racing for 15 minutes. Then we'll stop, we'll invert the top 10, and we'll go again for another 15 minutes at Watkins Glen International. Let's take a quick look at our conditions once again. Track temp has fallen a couple degrees down to 90 Fahrenheit. Air temp a beautiful 70 degrees. Partly cloudy conditions. It's a beautiful day here in Watkins Glen, New York, and about ready to go racing. 62 MX-5s maxing out the field limit here in the iRacing Motorsport Simulation Service, and this is going to be a spectacular race to watch. And look at the clouds covering the far side of the race course as we are ready to go racing, and I just cannot wait to get this thing underway.
And regarding the auto clutch and the clutched upshift, Luke Mcgrew pointed out that we were getting about a half-second difference between the two. So the top 10 basically have switched their auto clutch to a clutch setup. So we might see a couple drivers who might end up making a couple mistakes, because if you aren't able to clutch in correctly, it will lock you out of the gear.
And we're green here at Watkins Glen. 15 minutes on the board as the field scrambles down to turn number 1. Can we get through here without incident? Battle for the lead up front. Kenton Cook already pulling away here, but now we look back at the massive field of these little buzzing Mazdas as they get down to turn number 1. And do they make it through here without incident as we're looking from the blimp cam? Everybody clean through here so far. Now the battle goes up through the S's. Can everyone get through here okay as the track funnels down to its minimum width of 34 feet? Wow, an incredible start there. Not a single car dropping a wheel as we climb the S's.
This is incredibly clean racing.
On the back straightaway, there's a little bit of pushing and shoving up here towards the front, though. As we head down to the bus stop for the first time, we're side by side for the lead, and it looks like John D. Allen's going to rocket to the lead as we head through the bus stop. And everyone's still clean through here so far. This is absolutely phenomenal stuff. Got one car a little bit through the grass there, but other than that, we're through very cleanly. And super impressive start. 62 cars, promo. We do have some contact, though, and I believe it is, I'm trying to grab who it is there, and then the couple cars that have retired already. Doug Metzel in the 398 is involved, but we're going to not show you that too quick, as there's a couple more cars that are involved, but we want to head back out front and catch the battle for the lead as John D. Allen has wrestled the lead away from the 55 of Kenton Cook. We'll go back and look at that replay at the end of the event, so you don't miss a thing up front. A whole line of Mazdas down into turn number 8.
And we see Justin Hilly is manually disconnected. I'm not sure if he was having any connection issues there, but
yeah, we'll go back and see if he was potentially involved in an incident as well. We'll have to go see. But now, about to complete lap number 1, and we've lost a couple people here, but for the most part, seems like we're doing pretty good as now Allen is starting to actually gap Kenton Cook a little bit, but look who's sitting in third, DJ Alessandrini in the number 1 car. He is hot on the tail of that bright pink number 55.
He gained a lot of positions really quickly, that's for sure.
Down into turn number 1 once again, so far so good for the top couple guys. We got a car out wide, that's the blue machine, I can't remember exactly, that's the 32 car of Kevin Jander there in the blue and black MX-5. He's climbing the hill now, went a little bit wide at the exit of turn number 1, but got it back on course just in time. And now the battle heads to the backstretch again. Leaders all together. Kenton Cook to the outside of John D. Allen with help from DJ Alessandrini, bump drafting down the back straight. And Alessandrini's going to get to the door.
Shake and bake.
To the door of John D. Allen. Gets around him, so move Alessandrini to second place. 3 wide into the bus stop here. Behind him, it's Magnoli's in the middle of it. David Sockrider, Eric Pennington also in that battle. The 12 car of Samuel Elgenbert somehow getting through there without any contact as the rest of the field makes their way through the bus stop for the second time tonight.
Absolutely beautiful looking race this evening.
Christopher Hann in the number 16 MX-5 up in number 4 right now to the inside of John D. Allen. A little bit of smoke from John D. Allen's car. At least he might have dropped a wheel or done something there to kick up a little cloud, but he's going to settle into third place right now. Lost a couple spots after holding the lead on the opening lap. Well, you see Tom O'Gorman pop out of line to the inside of the 32 car. That is going to be for 7th place. And O'Gorman started in 9th place, only up 1 spot so far, and that tells you how competitive this field is.
Absolutely. And we have Eric Coutil sitting in 6th place as well, with Swenson dropping down to 5th.
Coutil started in 7th. He's up 1 spot as well. But Alessandrini all over the rear bumper of Kenton Cook. Does he have enough speed to beat Cook this week? We're right on board with him down through turn number 1. He's got the draft here. He'll take a look to the inside. No, he'll stay in line for now, and this is all just kind of a mind game here. There's still 10.5 minutes remaining in this race, so Promo, there's not really a whole lot of incentive to go out and lead the race right now if they can just draft right by you, right?
Exactly, and we still have quite a bit of time remaining, so it should make for an interesting race.
41 of Eric Pennington, a little bit of contact with the 44 of David Sockrider. Sockrider runs wide in turn 1. And Pennington will drive away, and that's the 12 of Samuel Elgenbert sealing a spot from the 44 as well. So a little bit of contact there in turn 1, but no harm, no foul, and these cars are relatively tough and small as well. But side by side for the lead, Alessandrini on the outside into the bus stop, can't quite hold the line, and Kenton Cook will clear him and maintain the lead. John D. Allen swings over to the left to try to get an advantage on the 1 car. Now heading down into the boot section once again. The front group of drivers is so tight together here, and really it goes all the way back to what looks to be Tom O'Gorman is the last one in line in this group. So the top 8 drivers separated, then they're behind him. It's Rob Wilkinson in the 37 leading pack number 2. That includes Alex Barroso, Austin Barnes, Luke Mcgrew, and Emil Tabb, as well as Ryan Waldo and Ray Hilbert.
Absolutely incredible racing. I cannot believe how close these guys are able to keep together.
And looking at the conditions, still 90 degrees on the track temp, so nice and comfortable out there right now, but Cook continues to lead, nose to tail for the top 8.
Well, this is my
between
first
the top,
iRacing.
and between the top 3, they have a 0.4 second split. Absolutely incredible.
Very, very close together. We welcome in Brooks Church. Brooks, welcome to the booth here. We've seen an incredible race so far. The top 8 all nose to tail together with 8.5 minutes to go. When is it go time to go up there if you're 8th in line? If you're Tom O'Gorman right now, when do you go up there and try to take the lead away?
I say you wait patiently. Patience is key, and obviously his hair is always staying straight up, so he's ready to go at all times.
We saw Kevin Jenner actually bounce off the tire barrier at the exit of turn number 11, and that's going to give Tom O'Gorman an opportunity to get around him. They're side by side down into turn number 1, and O'Gorman's going to try to outbrake him here, and he does. Will take the spot, move the 94 up to 7th down in turn number 1. And now the whole field getting more and more liberal with that runoff room in turn number 1 promo. We've seen that all the time in qualifying and practice, using every inch of racetrack. And now Alessandrini looks to the inside of Kenton Cook on turn number 4 at the top of the S's, side by side for the lead, and Alessandrini will take it away.
And he's also getting a bump draft from John D. Allen as well to give him a little bit of a boost.
And bump drafting super important here at Watkins Glen. You got to back off though. They get to the bus stop side by side for second. Now Kenton Cook just swings in front of John D. Allen, and now they're going to cross each other over. Move Kenton to the inside, Allen to the outside as Tom O'Gorman side by side, middle 3 wide for a moment between Swenson and Coutil in position number 7. Intense moments right now.
You can definitely tell that Tom has. You can definitely tell that Tom has the racecraft abilities because he can navigate traffic absolutely beautifully.
And he's up to position number 6 after starting 8th, so he's up 2 spots now. But this front group, an incredible battle going on amongst them. But let's take a quick break and head back throughout the rest of the field. This is for position number 24, Bradley Adams to the inside of Samuel Elgenbert. He's going to take that spot away down in turn number 6. There's a whole group of cars, all really from 17th on back, that is super close together and continuing to fight. And as we say that, we're going to head back up to the front as John D. Allen has reeled in Alessandrini back in the straight between turn 7 and 8. So now we're only about 6.5 minutes remaining left in this race. And Allen, Alessandrini, and Cook have positioned themselves. But what about a guy like Christopher Henn? Has positioned himself quite nicely, started in 6th up to 4th. Is he sitting in the right spot here if these front 3 get together? John D. Allen carrying the momentum out of turn number 11 now. Will he take a run down into turn 1? He's got the draft. He'll take a look. Yes, he will. To the inside on the front straight. 6.25 minutes to go. Side by side for the lead. Down into turn number 1. Who's going to come out with the lead here? As they're going to go wide potentially here. Alessandrini crosses over. Allen's way out in the runoff room. Way wide at the exit of turn 1. Through the grass. Got to watch that incident limit as they climb the S's.
Yes, and the incident limit is limited to 12x. So they do have to be extremely careful because they can take at least 1 incident point from running out wide there, and they can take an incident point from the bus stop as well.
Do we dare go 3 wide here? Oh man, this is getting so close. Alessandrini holding the the 22 car of John D. Allen to the inside. Where does Christopher Henn go in all this as they work their way to the bus stop side by side for the lead?
Absolutely incredible racing here going on.
See that second group come into focus now as they head into the bus stop. They've gotten themselves sorted out, but we'll stay focused on this lead group as they work their way through the carousel turn number 5. Look at Alessandrini up wide over the curb. John D. Allen is in third. He's got Christopher Henn and Jeremy Swenson behind, and don't look too far to find Tom O'Gorman in the 94, but Coutil to the inside of him now as O'Gorman runs a little bit wide. The 32 car of Kevin Jander still just kind of hanging into this fight. He's got a little bit of damage to that left front fender, so he's had a little bit of argy-bargy with somebody. As Jeremy Swenson in the 3 is trying to hold off Eric Coutil. And now to the inside of John D. Allen goes Christopher Henn in the 16 car.
But apart from that, the top 10 have kept it extremely clean. You could see almost no damage on vehicles.
And now the 82 of Coutil works to the inside of Swenson. Will he cross him over here as we rejoin the short course? This is where NASCAR runs the short course here, and as it joins, it's got no camber here, so it's very, very tricky to get the car rotated and not get too much power down. These little Mazdas can just floor it out, and Swenson holds on to 5th spot for now. Gonna check way back, battle for 32nd place right now. And that's Philip Corset in the 36 and Max Lupfer in the 688. They were just trading spots for 31st. That's only halfway through the field here, guys. It's such a deep field. But let's head back up. I don't want to miss too much at the front here because there's so much great racing going on.
You gotta love spec racing. Always action no matter where you're at, first to last. Love it.
And now Coutil and Swenson side by side again. This battle's been raging for a couple laps now. Both them run a little bit wide. The 3 car gets in the grass at the exit of turn 1. Where does Tom O'Gorman go? He's just kind of stalking these guys as they climb the S's. We'll ride on board with them on the backside of the course here.
And Tom O'Gorman is also racing over in Austin, Texas right now. He took his sim setup down to Texas with him.
That's commitment.
Absolutely. He's showing it right now. He's got the 3 of Jeremy Swenson to his outside, pushing Coutil forward. Coutil's going to take the spot into the bus stop, up over the curbs. Got to be super aggressive here to make time. And he's going to take a spot and move himself up to 6th. And there's the second group, led right now by the 54 of Alex Barroso. He's got Austin Barnes all over him. Actually,
that 10 spot is absolutely crucial.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, in 3 minutes, we will end this race and we'll invert the top 10. So right now, the battle is between Barroso and actually Austin Barnes and Rob Wilkinson in the 37 car, the green or the teal and black car. Whoever's in 10th is going to be leading this race when we start the second race here in a little bit. So that's a very important spot. But another important spot is that lead right now. And they're snaking down up towards turn number 8 as Alessandrini looks to the inside of Kenton Cook. But that Pepto-Bismol car still out in front right now.
Absolute killer racing by these guys tonight.
Great battle for 17th right now. Eric Pennington, Colin Marzoff, Samuel Elgenberg, Thomas Foose, all in a great battle for what is essentially up to about 15th place. You could count Chris Boersma and Dan McVicker in here as well. And not a whole lot of incidents to report on at the moment. As we head back up, battle for 4th. Coutil to the inside of Christopher Henn, and Henn's going to spin at the exit of turn 11 into the tire barrier. He goes, and he's going to pull across the racetrack and pull down to the pits as that night is going to be pretty much over for the 16. Now, he'll stay out on the racetrack. That thing looks like it's limping a little bit, though.
He looked like he got squirrely just a bit, and he got tapped by 2 different vehicles on the exit.
Yeah, so unfortunate timing for Christopher Henn, so he's out of the battle now in 12th. Battle for the lead continues. Up the S's again. Alessandrini using the draft. Oh, Kenton Cook all over the place. Sideways through the S's. Somehow manages to regain control. What an incredible save by the driver of the 55. 3 wide for the lead. Here comes John D. Allen on the outside.
And as we close the race out, the racing's only getting better.
We are on
and
the white.
Tom O'Gorman up to 4th place.
This is the final lap here. 1 more lap to go. As soon as we finish this one, we'll throw the checkers. John D. Allen has pulled himself out into the front. DJ Alessandrini fighting with Kenton Cook for 2nd. These guys have to get organized right here if they want to go back at John D. Allen, but Cook shoves Alessandrini wide in the carousel. And look at Tom O'Gorman. He's in this fight now up to 4th. Can he get 3rd away from Alessandrini and get a podium out of this? That would be an incredible climb forward from 8th place. And now we have about half a lap left. John D. Allen leads by 0.3 of a second, but it's going to be a lot smaller than that, I promise you. Kenton Cook using that draft to his advantage. This is where it's going to all come down. Does Alessandrini help Cook get past John D. Allen, or is it every man for himself as we work our way towards turn number 8? Just a couple corners left to go. Alessandrini looks to the inside. He'll tuck back in for now. John D. Allen leading, stole the lead away. He might only lead one lap here towards the end, but it's all it's going to matter. Now up to turn number 9, 10, and 11 to close out the lap. He's all by himself now, just about a car length separating him and Kenton Cook. Alessandrini right behind. I don't know if they have enough time, but Kenton Cook is going to try. Here he comes through turn number 10. He's there. He's on the bumper. He's going to lay the bumper to him as they come to the final corner in race number 1. Kenton Cook looks outside, looks inside, shoves it up the inside, makes the pass. Does he get there, though? He does. He clears him to the front. Kenton Cook is going to come out of turn number 11 to the line. It's going to be a battle between the top spot. Kenton Cook wins at Watkins Glen.
Absolutely incredible racing there, Kyle.
Absolutely phenomenal. And who finished second? Alessandrini by a 1/10 of a second. But we're not done, guys. We still got lots of racing going on. That second group with Wilkinson, Emil Tab, Luke Mcgrew, and others, they've finished now. But let's head back up the racetrack, find some more out of turn number 11. Dan McVicker, Thomas Foose, David Sockrider all fighting together. Eric Pennington in this group as well as they come across the line. This is all for about 15th through 20th here.
We have roughly 40 vehicles finishing on the lead lap. Absolutely incredible racing.
To the line, and looks like we got all the way up to 29th here coming across the line. We'll head back down. Here's a battle for 33rd, Matthew Bush and Daniel Vaught. But that's going to... Ooh, the 62 slid. So did the 47. He's going to crash right coming to the checkers. He'll just grind along the Armco. He'll lose a spot to the... Actually, that 663 is one lap down, so that won't be for position. But Vaught in the green number 47 will cross the line in 34th place. And that will round out. There's only a couple cars left. Here's a battle for position. Nathan Shelveen in the 48 car trying to get around. That's the 46 of Ryan Kristoff just up the road he's battling. And that will, as these drivers cross the line, that will conclude race number 1. What an incredible race for that top spot, especially coming to the checkers. We got to go back and look at that again.
Absolutely. And Eric Coutil also dropped down to 43rd. Wonder what happened to him.
We missed that one for sure. Let's go back and take a look at the finish first and get a look at that last couple corners as the leaders navigated their way through. All right, here is a look at it. And try to get a little bit better angle here. So it looks like Kenton Cook set him up just right, fake to the left, John D. Allen covered, and then he just snuck it up the inside and just licked the stamp and send it, as the kids would say, and completed that pass in a phenomenal effort. And Alessandrini to the line with John D. Allen just nosed him out by 46 thousandths of a second for second place.
Absolutely ridiculous racing, Kyle. Absolutely ridiculous.
Great
I just
stuff.
hope that we're able to carry this on over into the GRIDLIFE Touring Car Series, where most of the drivers here are also partaking in the real-life series. So this makes the GRIDLIFE Midwest and the other 4 events absolutely amazing.
Amazing indeed. Let's take a look at our results here. Then we'll go back and take it to the initial contact that happened on the first lap in the carousel. But Kenton Cook wins the race. Alessandrini, then John D. Allen, Tom O'Gorman, Jeremy Swenson, your top 5. Then Kevin Jander, Austin Barnes, Barroso, Wilkinson, and Mcgrew rounding out your top 10. 11 through 20th on screen as well. But you mentioned it. There was 38 cars crossed the line on the lead laps. That is a phenomenal feat with this many cars starting here in a race this chaotic. An impressive feat. Great battles all around. We had 3 wide for the lead. We had cars side by side through the bus stop, jumping curbs. A spectacular race all around as we continue to look at. This is going to take a while to page through all the results here. And looks like you mentioned Eric Coutil, 42nd place for him. This is a little bit more disastrous than what happened to him at Lime Rock Park. That was a non-points event, so this is going to hurt him for sure. And obviously, if you finish anywhere from really 30th on back, the chances of you coming back to steal a championship away are really, really unlikely. So Coutil, a disappointing finish for him. And the rest of the field... looks like there were some cars that were done by lap number 1, so aren't showing up on the results screen. But I do want to take us back and look at that opening lap wreck. That was a pretty wild one, so just give me a moment here to pull that up. And we'll kind of go through that together, and you guys can maybe get some opinions for me on what exactly happened. And as I'm going to go grab this and find exactly what drivers were involved. Obviously, 62 cars. It's very difficult to focus on literally everything that's going on. So we'll try to pick a car that I believe was involved.
Yeah,
and we'll
this is absolutely 100% sensory overload. Joining you for the first time announcing here, Kyle, I cannot keep up with 10% of what you're able to. So
I am very impressed by this. This is my first time actually ever watching iRacing, and my first time ever announcing, so it is a double overload for me.
Yeah, it's obviously, it is sensory overload, as Promo put it, but here's a look into the bus stop. It was the 398 of Doug Metzel in the Falcon-sponsored car, and he gets together with that yellow vehicle. Can't quite get a look at what number that is, but they get together and collide into the carousel. Then it kind of collects a couple more cars as they work their way through here, but for the most part, only collecting 3 or 4 cars in a wreck that size is extremely impressive, I will say. It is the 52 car that was involved. It's Wes Malusik in the 52. He gets a full face of the 398 and smashes into the inside barrier. This is that lap 1 incident. And it was the 177 of Robert Cusera that was off track and stopped there as well. I didn't really see what led to him being stopped. Here's a look. Oh, he just pulled off. He got damaged and just immediately stopped off the side of the racetrack, and I think that kind of freaked some people out as they got through there. But all in all, guys, what a phenomenal race event. And we're going to gear up and get ready to go racing in race number 2. But for the time being, we are going to go to break momentarily. And please do us a favor. Right now, in the video description, we have a link that is to another race that is going live right now. It's the Fuel Host Venom Cup Series on SimTV at Daytona, their season opener. They're in the duels right now. 62 drivers entered in that. Only 40 can race. So while we're on break, go ahead, give that a watch, and return here in just a few minutes for race number 2. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Watkins Glen, New York, and the hashtag GRIDLIFE iRacers Mazda MX-5 Cup. And guys, the first race was absolutely chaotic promo. We saw some incredible racing up front with DJ Alessandrini, Kenton Cook, and Tom O'Gorman and John D. Allen. But race number 2, we're going to invert the field a little bit here. So who you got your eye on for race number 2 promo?
So far, Austin Barnes has proved himself to be a competent racer, so I've got some hope for him to be top 3, as well as, you know, Kenton, Tom, all those other DJ ringers. So it should make for an extremely interesting race.
And Brooks Church, welcome again to the booth here. And obviously, some pretty incredible racing we saw there. But I think one of the things that makes this such a unique series is that these guys here are all real-world racers. They treat these things in sim as if they're their own car. And obviously, I'm sure you're very familiar with wanting to keep your car in one piece so that you make it out alive.
Well, you also are talking to a drifter, so you're probably going to want to keep that on the down low there. But yeah, it's absolutely amazing to watch this racing, to see the contact kept to a minimal, and to see the absolute precision of the driving just in the simulator alone. It blows my mind. And
one of the things I love about this, you see right now the 007 just got together with somebody there in the warm-up session here. One of the things I love about iRacing is that how well the skill transfers over. 3 of those top 4 drivers are racing, or at one point race, in some sort of pro category of racing. And DJ Alessandrini obviously races at, well, I guess you would call it the Pro-Am level. Some pretty phenomenal stuff up there. And it just goes to show you how easily the skills transfer back and forth. I mean, I don't think anybody can teach you. You know, it's something you have to learn yourself. It's going out there and hitting an apex, and it's just the same in real life as it is in the sim. The only exception is that you don't have the seat of the pants feel. And I've heard people say that sometimes it's a little bit easier in real life because of the fact that you have more forces to play with in terms of your, you know, of your senses. You have the sense of feel and the whole seat of the pants thing. So sim racing a little bit different in that regard.
Yeah. But I absolutely agree with that. However, you have drivers such as Tom who jump in and on their first day of iRacing place top 10. And that confuses you and then also makes you question if you actually like cars. So, you know, there's that.
I'll tell you one thing. This is going to be really hard to convince my fiancé to spend all this money on a simulator after watching all this, because I definitely want to be a part of this in the future.
Well, here's a suggestion for you. Just go out and upgrade your real race car, and then give her the bill for that, and then go ahead and buy all the content for the sim, and then show her the bill. I think she'll choose the sim every time. That's what other iRacers usually say, is that you know, you can buy all the content in iRacing for about the cost of one race weekend. So it's a pretty good deal, I would say.
Beautiful. And actually, I just got smacked. Not fiance, it's wife, still newlywed, trying to get used to that. But yeah. She absolutely approves of me of racing and wants me to continue with it as much as possible, and is always there, typically in the passenger seat when nobody else is. So I found a good one.
Absolutely.
So
all right.
I started off iRace.
Go ahead. You can go ahead. We're just about ready to finish up the warm up here. So go ahead.
So I started iRacing about a year ago, and from the past year to today, I cannot explain how much iRacing has helped me become a better driver, simply due to the fact that having the data, and you know, you have to take advantage of every single thing that iRacing has to offer. And if you think about it, the data that iRacing has to offer from every single aspect of the vehicle being logged, you know, because it's on a computer, makes life so much better. And it teaches you so many different things about data in real life. And it transfers over, and it's amazing.
It sure is.
Right, you are, Promo.
All right, we're about ready to go racing for 15 more minutes. We've inverted the top 10, so the lucky pole sitter for this one is Luke Mcgrew in the number 16 car, starting alongside Rob Wilkinson in the 29, Alex Barroso, Austin Barnes, Kevin Jander, Jeremy Swenson, Tom O'Gorman, John D. Allen, DJ Alessandrini, and Kenton Cook. They round out your top 10. And I guarantee you, those bottom 4 of that top 10, O'Gorman, Allen, Alessandrini, and Cook, I bet you that one of those guys is going to be at least on the podium by the end of this race. So as we get ready, the lights are going to go red here in a moment, and we'll go racing one more time tonight. 15 minutes on the grid. Waiting for the green, waiting for the lights. See a jump starting towards the mid-pack there. And green flag flies. We're racing here at Watkins Glen again. And 15 minutes goes on the board, and it's going to be a frantic scramble down to turn 1, just like it was last time. Big smoke clouds in the air as we get down to turn number 1. So far, it looks like the lead has gotten separated out. Now there's a little bit of action around the front of the pack here.
But they kept it together, even though the blue car there got a little bit of a smack.
Climbing the hill here, a little bit wild. Luke Mcgrew's already down to third. It looks like Austin Barnes in the 51 is going to be your leader as they climb the S's here. And they're side by side, 3 wide for a moment. Luke Mcgrew just getting swallowed up. John D. Allen already to 5th place as Rob Wilkinson looks to the outside, heading to the bus stop. And this
absolutely incredibly clean racing happening here, Kyle.
Oh, well, let's not speak too soon as they get down to the bus stop side by side for the lead. They get through there okay, incredibly. Looks like Wilkinson's going to take that lead away. A little bit of contact mid-pack. We got a couple sliding wildly off course. It's going to be Andrew Lanning in the 18 car. He is in the tire barrier, and that's the another red machine there. It's, I believe it's Ryan Ahrens, and no, it's not him. But Lanning went for a crazy wild spin, but we're not going to pull away. Let's go back up towards the front. And it looks like Wilkinson and Barnes continue to lead. Jeremy Swenson hanging out in third for now.
And most of them went from double to triple file to almost single file, so they're starting to catch their pace, and they're starting to figure out where they could pass. So it seems like they're starting to set into their ways now.
13.25 minutes remaining, so we're not quite done with lap number 1 yet, but we're getting into turn number 8 now. We hear a little bit of contact from some nose-to-tail contact. We do have one spinning.
Big spin.
It's Chris Borsma on the 55. We've got another one off track there as well. It's John Renna. He's got big damage in the 07 car on the nose of that thing, so that car's all torn up. Everyone else makes it through there okay, though, surprisingly. As we head back to the lead, Austin Barnes dogging Rob Wilkinson for the lead as they conclude lap number 1. Wilkinson started in 2nd place and has now stolen the lead away as they complete lap number 1. Everyone really single-filed out quite a ways back now. Biding their time here, being a little bit patient. There is a couple passes going on towards the rear of the field.
And if it's anything like what we saw last time around, they were patient until the last 5 minutes where they all gave it everything that they had.
Taking a look at a quick replay, Jeremy Swenson ran John D. Allen all the way out to the wall down in turn number 1. A little bit of pushing and shoving there. John D. Allen slips back to 8th. He might have some suspension damage. That car has a little bit of right front contact there, so... And Wilkinson and Barnes are side by side. Looks like Barnes has a nose ahead as they work their way into the bus stop. Who's going to prevail here? Looks like it'll be Austin Barnes in that sticker-bombed 51 car.
He's still holding on for dear life, that's for sure.
Oh, John D. Allen hard into the fence. Huge damage. That car is completely destroyed. And down the order he falls. And that is just from 4th to dead last here in just a couple of corners. Let's take a look at it. All by himself.
Oh, and we have Rob Wilkinson making the pass.
Wilkinson's going to get that spot back from Austin Barnes. Look who's here, Kenton Cook in the 8 car. And Alex Barroso, they've caught back up to this lead and looked like Kenton Cook is going to go for 2nd, maybe even the lead here, heading down towards turn number 8. And Kenton Cook started all the way back in 10th place, so he has come up quite a ways to get to this spot.
Absolutely, and he's been on fire.
Barnes and Wilkinson have been side by side for about half this lap. Who's going to come out on top? Looks like Alessandri's gotten caught up in traffic. He's going to cross over Swenson. Working through turn 9 now. Wilkinson hops the curb. Now it's Kenton Cook to the inside of Austin Barnes as they work their way through turn 9 and 10.
Oh, this is absolutely incredible racing here, Kyle.
Oh, man. Kenton Cook gets a little bit of the curb, loses some ground. Austin Barnes maintains that 2nd spot. Barroso tucks in behind, and Jeremy Swenson's there in case something happens, but back onto the front straight now, concluding lap number 2. Rob Wilkinson leads now, but it's only by a couple tenths of a second, which is not worth a whole lot here at Watkins Glen with the massive draft we see on the back straightaways down into turn 1. Who's going to see run out wide here? We've seen so many cars use that runoff room. Austin Barnes all over the rear. Swings out way wide. Does he demand more space? No, he'll tuck in behind, and everyone's still single file through turn 1. Got one spinning. And it's looks like it's David Sockreiter in the 44. He's in the fence down in turn number 1.
Oh, and Kenton Cook going for the pass over Austin Barnes, leading for 2nd place. 3 wide.
Quickly taking a quick look at that 44 car and said he got a hit from the 187. That's what spun him around, but you mentioned 3 wide. Let's head back up. Well, we got cars crashing at the top of the S's.
Takes the wind, or takes the lead through the bus stop.
Big, huge cars flipping in the top of the S's here, guys. Big damage back here.
Oh, no, you never want to see anything like that. That's always a terrible
cars
thing.
Tumbling. all over the racetrack. The whole track is completely blocked. His cars still pile in here. Nowhere for them to go.
Well, hopefully somebody goes through and clears them all out.
It's just a junkyard on the back straight. Didn't see anything like that on lap number 1, or the first race. Man, what a disaster there on the back straight. But that has turned over the lead to Kenton Cook in the 8 car. Rob Wilkinson in the 29 is second. Looks like Alessandrini is in third now. The battle behind them is still raging, though. There's a green car in that mix.
Wow, this reminds me of Sherman stock race in Mid-Ohio, the back straightaway. And cars everywhere. That
16 car of Luke Mcgrew started on pole. He's back to 10th spot now and trying to get any purchase he can on the cars in front of him. Austin Barnes has fallen to 12th here with Barroso behind. So they've all lost a little bit of ground in that wild exchange on the back straight.
Hey, as long as Mazda wins at the end of the day, it's all good, right?
For the lead here, Rob Wilkinson all over Kenton Cook. These guys are extremely, immensely talented. 8.5 minutes to go. We're closing in on halfway in this race already. The top 5 still, you could throw a blanket over them.
Hey, Kyle, can you tell that Kenton really, really likes the Global MX-5s?
I can tell. He's pretty good at them, too. Wilkinson all over. Let's ride on board with the
you also used
29.
to race Global MX-5 in real life.
Well, carry over the skill, just like we talked about. Now he's to the inside. Here comes Rob Wilkinson. Shoves his way to the inside of Kenton Cook, and the S is door to door at the top of the hill. This is the track at its narrowest point, 34 feet across between 2 big Armco walls. It's a very scary place to make a pass, but Wilkinson's trying.
Let's see if Rob can hold it through the bus stop.
And look at DJ Alessandrini. He's going to come in here. He might steal the lead away. And it looks like Kenton Cook's going to throw the block. Alessandrini spins. He turns in front of the field, backs into the tire barrier. And that's going to be a huge implications for Alessandrini.
Absolutely. And another driver that I've been able to see in the top 10 is Tom O'Gorman. I wonder where he went.
Tom O'Gorman looks like, looking down, he's in 46th, a lap down, so might have been caught up in that big one on the back straightaway there. So O'Gorman's going to crash out of this one. But that has given Kenton Cook a 9/10 of a second lead. And Brooks, I want to ask you this question. I mean, all these other guys are looking at Kenton Cook maybe smelling blood in the water here. Is it work together now and go get Kenton, or is it every man for himself here from second on back?
Well, Miata thing, that's always a group effort. You always got to go together to go faster, and I think stick together and see what you can do.
Well, we're about to see if they're going to make that work. They've lost about 2/10 since I just started talking about that. Kenton Cook now has a 1.1 second lead over Jeremy Swenson and Rob Wilkinson. So a lot more drama in this race. It typically happens with the field inversion, but now with we're past the halfway point, and now they have to go track down Kenton Cook and work together, which is against everything that's in your mind as a race car driver. You want to go out there and be the best, but sometimes you got to be second best and help the guy in front of you get back up to the leader's bumper.
These are strictly momentum cars, so any chance you can have, use as much of the track as possible, and draft. That's always the key to these cars.
And speaking of draft, Kenton Cook was weaving on the front straightaway, trying to break the draft. Swenson and Wilkinson now need to get that momentum through turn 1. This is a very important corner for them to carry speed. Look at them way out in the grass trying to use every inch of paved surface. And they closed a little bit, about 1/10 of a second they closed. And now up the hill, and looks like the 3 of Swenson has pulled away a little bit from Wilkinson. They need to get themselves hooked back up. They have about 15 car lengths to go to catch that 8 car again. On the back straightaway, there's Austin Barnes, is that? Yeah, it's the 51 of Austin Barnes alongside Luke Mcgrew. Actually, that's Alex Barroso in the 39 that they're battling into the bus stop here. But look at that draft on the straightaway already. They closed 3/10. Cook leads by 7/10 of a second now. He was at 1.1 down in turn number 1, so that shows you how powerful that draft really is. And does he have enough?
Yeah, Kenton Cook still managed to walk away from the rest of the field.
But does he have enough? It's 5 minutes left. That's time for everyone to track him back down. 8/10 of a second should be close enough to get an advantage off that draft from the Pepto-Bismol MX-5 out up front. You see the 15 of Kevin Jander kind of duking and diving around Rob Wilkinson. He wants a round here. And that's got to be a distraction for Wilkinson to have a car trying to pass him while he's trying to stay in line and push Jeremy Swenson.
Absolutely. And the only way that they could really, catch up with Kenton at this point is if they all started to work together instead of fighting each other for that second spot. However, as a racer, that's not going to happen.
No, it looks like everybody's out for blood. It's already been So much excitement in this race so far. In this last 5 minutes, it's going to get even more exciting, I guarantee it.
So with 4.5 minutes remaining, Kenton Cook now, his advantage is still 0.8 of a second, but the advantage for the second and third place cars of Swenson and Wilkinson will come on the long straights. They're going to have to work together to get there. Last time by, Cook ran a 208.7. Jeremy Swenson ran a 208.3. So last time by, they were 0.4 quicker. We'll see what it is at the line this time. And there's some lap traffic, but look at Kenton pulls all the way down to the pit wall to try to break that draft. Looks like Swenson's not going to follow, though. He doesn't want to have that distraction of swinging the car back to the right, back to the left. He's going to stay in line and wait for the help from Wilkinson and Kevin Jander.
And you can definitely see Kenton's strategy there working for him because of the fact that he's able to pull more of a lead on Swenson.
Up the hill now.
They all have to really stick together on this one to really catch up to him.
It's 0.9 of a second. Oh, there's a little bit of a battle going on. Kevin Jander to the outside. That's Rob Wilkinson. Christopher Henn, who crashed out of race number 1. Oh, they're in the wall. The 15 car is going to spin in front of the field again. He's going to go hard into the fence. And that's going to be race over for the 15 of Kevin Jander on the back straightaway here at Watkins Glen with 3.5 minutes to go. Heartbreak for him. We'll keep heading back up. It's now 0.5 second between Swenson and Kenton Cook. That advantage slashed in half in one straightaway.
Told you there'd be excitement.
Of course there was. There were 3 wide there for a moment at the top of the hill, and like I said before, it's the narrowest part of this 3.4-mile course, and it's quite obvious when you start getting cars, multiple cars wide. Bob Dyson, the 38, he's slow at the exit of the bus stop. Let's take a quick look at this. Just ran out wide, hit the tire wall, and damaged that car beyond repair, it looks like. Now back to the lead.
And Bob Dice also owns a LS240. I think he's been competing in time attack within the GRIDLIFE series, but now he's trying to switch gears to join GRIDLIFE touring car. So it's always exciting to see people, especially time attack drivers, who are converting their cars over to join in on the wheel-to-wheel racing.
Oh, you gotta always love that. I talked to that guy at Midwest, and he is absolutely eager. I love that guy. And the car.
And guys, at the top of the lap, I mentioned Kenton Cook had a 1.1 second lead. I'll make it 0.3 of a second. And we're coming to what should be 1 lap to go here. And I believe we'll get the white flag at the line. It's about 2 minutes and 5 seconds remaining. The laps around here take about 2 minutes and 8. Looks like Kenton Cook duking and diving. Jeremy Swenson trying to find a way around. This should be the last lap here at Watkins Glen. Who's going to get here first? When we come around here 3.4 miles later, will be Cook in the 8 or 3 of Swenson. Swenson to the outside. Can he carry the momentum? Not quite. He'll have to tuck in behind. Christopher Henn is caught back up. He's got some left front damage. That might hurt him in the draft here, but we're on the final lap at Watkins Glen.
I'll tell you one thing, I would love to see a leader change. I'd love to see Swenson move forward. Oh, just such pure, visceral experience here.
Up to the outside, he's got it. He's leading by about a fender. They're side by side, nose to tail, door to door. Here comes Christopher Henn on the outside, making 3 wide for the lead on the last lap. Oh my goodness, are we gonna make it through the bus stop alive?
Incredible racing.
Oh, 3 wide for the lead. Now 2 wide, door to door contact. Cook and Swenson pick up damage. Cook is out wide, he pulls it back on the racetrack just in time. Still side by side. Here comes the 57. Where does he go now? And look at Mcgrew, our pole sitter.
For the next corner.
Oh my goodness, guys. Turn number 6, now we head down here. Swenson has the preferred line. Oh, he swings over on Cook. Now Christopher Henn comes to the inside of the 8 car. Oh man, about a half a lap left.
Still hanging out for dear life.
Who has enough to get back to the line first? Oh, Henn throws a block on Kenton Cook. Kenton Cook turns him. Henn spins around. Oh no.
Oh.
Swenson's slow. Swenson's slow. Here comes Cook again now with a run. The draft, ultra important here, but there's about 1.5 straightaways left to use it here. Coming now to turn number 8. Cook closes under braking right to the rear bumper of Swenson. Does he use the bumper here in the final 3 corners? Up out of turn number 8 into turn 9, a flat off camber corner. He's going to have 2 more opportunities. We'll ride on board here with Kenton Cook. Oh, man. Swenson's going to go defensive.
And Henn both on the radios right now, talking to each other. So
maybe a little bit of hot heads here, but coming to the checkers. 1 more corner. Cook to the inside, and it looks like Swenson's going to try to block. They're going to spin. No, they're going to try to save it. The 3 car saves it. They're both going to crash at the start-finish line. Here comes Barroso in the 39 car. He's going to get to the checkered flag first, and he'll win at Watkins Glen.
Wow, what an exciting ending.
That
unfortunate for both.
Oh my goodness. And both cars that were coming to the checkers first wrecked and destroyed. We're not done yet. There's still racing going on, guys. Let's look on back. Samuel Elgenberg comes across the line in 12th. Alessandrini rebounds for 13th. A little bit of a disappointing race for him, but it could be a lot worse. Look at Wes Malusik and John Renna fighting for 21st spot right now as they come to the line with contact there to Carson Smith. And that's going to DQ Malusik. And he got just got disqualified. And that's a big shame for him there. Wow. What a race, guys. Holy cow.
That is unfortunate, to say the least.
Well, I'm going to take
but at the same time, the race 2 is, you know, it's meant to fight for position. Due to the fact that we invert the top 10, it allows everyone to, you know, struggle harder. And the racing isn't always just as clean. However, it still teaches you more about racing.
I'll tell you one thing, I would love to be a fly on the wall to hear that conversation that was going on.
Yeah, I think everyone
or still
would.
is going on.
Let's go back. I'm going to watch this replay here between Kenton Cook and Jeremy Swenson, and I would like to, hopefully the slow motion will cooperate with me today, but I would like to get a slow motion look at this, and it's going to work well enough, I think. And we'll ride on board Kenton Cook's machine, and he gets to the inside, and does the 3 turn in on him here? I don't know, guys. I mean, he got held pretty tight there, but the question is, did he have corner rights, or does that even matter in the last lap, last turn? And there's a review for you, and you can take a look, and the 3-car swings out wide, turns in, and Cook really didn't have anywhere to go. He's up on the curb here. And Swenson tracks out wide. He was sliding the entire time, and then they get together and crash, and then Alex Barroso from behind passes them both as they wreck coming to the checkers. Man, that'll be an interesting one to review, guys, I think. Let's get another look here.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll be fun to figure out who was at fault for half the incidents that happened at this race today. And
yeah, here's another look. And I think Cook is there. I think Cook had established his position, and I think Swenson had turned in on him. And
yeah.
On corner exit, I don't think that was definitely not intentional. That was just Swenson completely out of control after getting the tag.
That was pure racing incident there, and I don't blame either of those 2 drivers for trying to make that move, because on the last corner, on the last lap, what else do you expect from them?
Yeah, I do want to take another look also with Christopher Henne. He ultimately finished 5th. This might have been a blessing in disguise here, but take a look at this as well. Down into the toe of the boot on the final lap, he gets a tag from Kenton Cook and spins and somehow saves this car. Doesn't actually spin it all the way around. That was an incredible display of driving, and let's take a couple more looks at it. And that was a tricky one. I would place that one squarely on the shoulders of the 8 car of Kenton Cook. But again, last corner, or last couple laps, last couple corners, and there's going to be contact for sure.
I think Swenson tried to avoid contact with the wall to the outside. The problem is he avoided it too much and unfortunately took out Cook. I think that was a bit of an issue. If he just would have just ate into the wall, Cook would have been just fine.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's going to be it for us tonight. We're going to quickly take a real quick break. We're going to try to get a couple interviews here, and then we'll step away and turn the night over to the host Venom Fuel guys at Daytona. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back live on Sim TV here at Watkins Glen International with race winner Alex Barroso. What an incredible turn of events there the last couple of corners. I believe you were third or fourth coming to the checkers, and then ultimately you found yourself in victory lane. Just walk us through that last lap.
Yeah, there's a lot of draft battles going down front straight all night long. I think there was a little bit of contact going on the bus stop. Some people might have lost it, and I ended up third. Oh no, there's some contact in the toe of the boot there, I think. There's a lot of contact, so just kind of working through all those little wrecks was interesting. And then yeah, going into the last turn, Kenton and I don't recall who it was, got a little tied up and ended up in the wall and gave it to me. So all things said, I got pretty lucky there.
Yeah, racing is a lot more than just skill. Sometimes it involves circumstances and luck, and obviously you had all three of them tonight coming to the checkers. But what goes through your mind starting in a pack of 62 MX-5s, heading down to what is one of the most ominous corners in racing, turn 1 at Watkins Glen? What goes through your mind there, and how do you set yourself up for a successful race?
It's pretty wild. I mean, you just kind of look for any open spot, and I tried to stick to the inside on the start. Luckily, starting third, you don't worry too much about what's behind you. You just kind of hope you don't get hit, and kind of try to stick to your line, because you know there's going to be cars on your inside, outside, everywhere. So I stuck to the inside, and I knew I wasn't going to have to worry about anyone on the inside, so just tried to keep it tight there. But fortunately, the car in front of me kind of checked up quite a bit. I think the pole car, and I wasn't able to get a run down the straight, so I ended up back in like 8th or 9th there, and then it was just everybody draft battling and little incidents here and there, and it was kind of a back and forth yo-yo, which is really cool with the MX-5s, that you know the fields are so tight because of the draft.
All right, Alex, we want to wish you congratulations on that race win. We'll see you next week, and that was an awesome finish, and right place, right time for Alex Barroso this week. Thanks for talking to us.
Appreciate it, guys. It was super exciting. Have a good one.
All right, and we'll move on to second place finisher Luke Mcgrew. Hey, Luke Mcgrew, it's Kyle from Sim TV. You got a copy?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, well, second place for you in race number 2. I believe you're the pole sitter as well. What an entertaining race. So what did you see from your perspective there on that last lap?
Just some hard racing going into the last turn. I was kind of prepared to finish 4th, and was kind of surprised that.
I do want to ask you, coming to the checkers there was a little bit of spinning cars and that sort of thing. So when you come to the checkers with cars kind of spinning like that, is that just to hold the throttle to the floor and pray, or are you just trying to dodge them actively and try to get yourself to the line?
Yeah, no, I was just trying to get to the line. I kind of seen it coming early with Jeremy step sideways, so I just went ahead and moved.
All right, well, thanks for talking to us. Congrats on the second place. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we'll move on to third place driver Austin Barnes. Hey, Austin Barnes, Kyle from Sim TV. You got a copy?
Yep, got you loud and clear.
All right, well, that was an entertaining race for sure. I just talked to Alex Barroso and Luke Mcgrew, and they were both saying how chaotic it was. What about the start of that race, though? I know that you were kind of involved in some pretty intense battles at the start. Walk us through that, starting in a field of 62 MX-5s at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole lot, you know, especially being one of those single screen guys out there. It's a lot to keep track of. Start of the race, just the front row was kind of slow through the first turn, and me and Rob got out front and had a bit of a battle, and then we had that, like, I don't know, 16 car pack going into the bus stop, and it just went bad from there. A few of us went off, and I fell back from there and just kind of bided my time, and luckily people kept crashing out, let me get up to the front.
All right, well, a solid podium finish for you, and hopefully we'll see you in the same spot next week. We'll talk to you later. Thanks, Austin.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for hosting.
No problem. And the last driver we'll talk to tonight is Kenton Cook. Hey, wrong guy. Grabbed Austin again by accident. Hey, Kenton Cook, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, that was certainly an entertaining finish from all angles, and that whole last lap was chaos everywhere. We had 3 wide into the bus stop. We had 2 cars wide going into the final corner, and ultimately they didn't work out for you or the 3 of Jeremy Swenson. Just walk us through that entire last half a lap, pretty much from the bus stop on.
Well, from the bus stop on, it was a blur. Couldn't really remember much, to be honest, because of all the crap that was going on. But yeah, going 3 wide into the bus stop, I was just lucky enough to get the overlap to pop on the leader there. And but yeah, I mean, from there, I was just able to get the side draft and sneak by and it was insanity for the rest of the way there. And then final lap, or final corner, I was like, I think I might be able to get a run here, and I got a run, and he didn't protect it, so I went on the inside, and it was one of those things where I didn't get the room I needed, and I stuffed it in there where it was the room wasn't going to be very much. So it was a racing deal, and to his credit, it's hard to see when you're on a single screen. So he was talking about it. Jeremy was also talking about how it's just hard to see anyone coming up on you when you don't have VR or three screens. So one of those racing deals, but we'll live to see another day. It's a fun game, and we'll be there next week.
All right, thanks for talking to us, Kenton. We'll see you later.
No problem. See ya.
All right. Well, guys, what an incredible battle that we had and that we saw for the entire race in both race 1 and race 2, but it came down to a last corner, last lap pass after the two front guys tangled together. So what's your take on that? Is that over-aggression, or is that just the right amount for a 15-minute race? Someone's promo, you're muted there if you're looking to chat. Unless he's checked out. So I think that will be our broadcast here. We'll close out at the end, and again, 15 minutes times 2 at Watkins Glen here in upstate New York. An incredible battle. 62 Miatas in the first race, 58 in the second. So that'll round out our coverage here. We'll be back next week, the same time. And if you're still watching, go ahead on over and go back to our channel page, and you'll find the Fuel Host Venom Cup Series at Daytona, just finishing up their main event here. But now I hear somebody ticking. That is Promo. Promo, again, Watkins Glen, fantastic racing all around. Are you looking forward to next week?
Absolutely, and I believe we're going to Rhode Island next week, and Rhode Island is by far one of my most favorite tracks. And I also fly back from India just on that day, so I'm really hoping that I can participate in that race. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what we also have for the future here within the GRIDLIFE iRacers.
All right, well, that will conclude our coverage here from Watkins Glen. We'll be back next week, 8:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And like I said, Fuel Host Venom Cup Series action live on Sim TV right now. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you later. Have a great night.